Hello, gorgeous souls. Happy July to you. Yay, it's July, which means it is my birthday month. And this month I'm doing a special kind of theme, which is making bountiful impact. So I'm kind of in the, feeling into it, seeing what's going to be coming out. I know that I want to teach a lot. I know I want to share a lot. I know that I really sat down yesterday and was just, journaling and talking to God and listening and tuning in and was like, how can I make this the most beautiful and aligned month ever, right, of my entire life as I move into my 42nd year on this planet, at least this time around. I don't know about every time. And it was really clear that it's to serve, right? And because I have now all of these extra tools and techniques and practices that I can not just implement into my life and for myself, I'm going to be sharing more in terms of why the things that I use matter, what I have done on this journey up into this time in my life right now that has really shifted for me, and what I have used to make those shifts, and so on and so forth. And because it's Mantra Monday, we're going to be using a mantra today that is Aung San Wahe Guru. So that mantra is really beautiful and really powerful, as they all are, because it really brings our connection, right? It's the Aung is the part, the Sang is the every, right? So the part of everything, and the Wahe, the living ecstasy, bliss, undescribable, godness, right, is also connected with the Guru, which is that transition from dark to light, right, from emotional, mental, physical, every possible level, right? So it's really about transforming anything that we thought possibly was holding us, right, or limiting us or separating us, and knowing that every part of my cell, my being, my light is the same as the oneness God. So there is no separation, and I don't need to worry or have thoughts that don't serve me, and so on and so forth. So before we get started, one thing that I use in my life every single day is, well, there's a few things, but I use essential oils, and this is one. Let me get on my toolbox here and switch it around. So this is one of my favorite. I actually already opened it because I used it before I came in, and this is called Transformation. It's such like a perfect oil. This, obviously, we're all going through a time of transformation, so it's a really beautiful one to not only speak on, but also really use in my life right now. So there's some that I go up and down, like called to like awaken, or I'm called to into the future, I'm called to abundance, or I'm called to inner child. And this one right now is one that I'm called to, and also another one I'll share with you later. Not today, but another time. So transformation is really about having that awareness, right? We don't transform, we don't shift, we don't have something happen in our lives that makes us in more alignment if we don't transform, right? So it's like releasing, being in that space of releasing, making space for what's coming, and then putting ourselves into that forward projection of that what we're going towards, right, that already is ours, right? So it's bringing the three together in whatever way, shape, or form that we need to. So transformation is a really beautiful oil. So I'm just going to do a drop here. So one thing that I do a lot of times with my mantras, my practices, I kind of intuitively choose my oil. And with transformation, this is a great one for it has like a grounding, but it also helps you to awaken, right? That expansion. It has that like almost like the minty, right? So it's opening, it's expanding. It has a high vibration for you to be grounded, but also in a place of expansion. And that's what we want in our lives, right? When we're going into pure divine alignment, we want to be in a place of like, okay, I know who I am at the core, and I know my truth, and I know my boundaries, and this is what I'm expanding into or allowing into my world. So transformation is a great one to tune in with, whatever kind of transformation you're in, right? It could be physical, mental, emotional, energetic. It could be a transformation in your life, right? So like a move, and you're like, I'm all out of sorts. So it's a beautiful oil to really help you through the transformation process. And I'm always working in that process, and I'm always helping my clients and my tribe work in that process as well. So if you have questions on that oil, let me know. If it's something that you want to buy, let me know. I have, obviously I can order them for you. And I'll be putting in a big order in July. So I have a lot of there's a lot of goodies that came out because of convention with Young Living. And one of them is the Freedom Oil, which I'm super stoked about. And then there's a couple other things. So So that's that. But what I love to do is use my oil, you know, take some deep breaths in. And with this mantra, one thing that I really love working on it with is haunting thoughts. It's actually known as one of those to help remove haunting thoughts. So let's just say that something that feels like it's holding you back and you're not really moving forward into is around being able to truly share, right? Truly share the depths of who you are, whether it's be vulnerable or be authentic or be you know, different, right? Or share in a way that could cause conflict to others, right? So maybe this haunting thought is that it's not safe for me to really express who I am. It's not safe. Like, you really feel that. Like, if I do that, I could get shunned. I could get, you know, in a fight with somebody online or in the family. I could, you know, be ignored. I could be rejected. I could be abandoned. So there's something coming up about that. Like, I'm really afraid to like share myself truthfully or share my truth or be vulnerable. And it's a haunting thought that keeps coming up, and it's like, you know, it holds you back. So the process that I use, it's kind of a 2-3 part process. So the 2 parts is that you have the thought and you have the mantra. So the mantra follows the thought. The other part that I really love to incorporate into my life is the piece with what am I exchanging it with, right? Think about every day in your life, it's an exchange, right? It's an exchange of energy out, of energy in. We can't just always be putting out because we would be depleted. We can't always be just pulling in because then we're, you know, hoarding and we're being greedy and we're not sharing, right? We need to share. So we need this exchange constantly coming and going, right? Giving and receiving, flowing and flowing. So when we have that exchange happening and we exchange something that isn't working into something that is, that's where you start that new process from. That transformation happens from what you are going into, right? If you don't even know where you're going, you can't go anywhere. I mean, you can, but you're going to get lost and it's going to be messy and it might just be even more of a hassle. And we don't need that, right? We have enough in our life. So the one thing that I do with this mantra is you get yourself grounded, right? And then you just repeat whatever the haunting thought is. So let's just say it's not safe for me to share my truth, right? Let's just imagine that's the haunting thought. Like, it's just not safe for me to share my truth. Or if I share my truth, I'm going to be persecuted is the word that comes up for me. And I feel like that comes for a lot of us in past life. But if I share my truth, or if I share my voice truthfully, I will be disregarded, right? I will be looked down upon. I will be judged. That's a huge one, right? Because judgment can go a million different ways. So if I share myself truthfully, I will be judged. And nobody wants to be judged, even though we're being judged all the time. So it's not up to us. But that's a haunting thought, right? And it keeps you held back. This is the thing. Our haunting thoughts are that which keeps us held back. They repeat in the mind, and until we break the cycle and we clear out the psyche and we shift the subconscious, we keep having them cycle through, right? So it's up to us to use our tools to break the cycle. So here's the way that you do it. You get into the space, you already know you're safe, right? Whether it's you tune in with the Adi mantra or whatever you're doing, you tune in and then you let the thought come. Okay, this is the thought I'm working on. And before you even go into doing the mantra, you write down, what is it I would want to exchange this with? Like, it could be the simplest version of switching the words around. It could be really in depth, but what would you want to exchange it with? Maybe it's something as simple as, it is safe for me to share my voice, okay? Or the more I share my truth, the easier it becomes and the less I become judged. Or as I share myself truthfully or vulnerably, I am connecting with those who need to hear the message I share, right? So you get rid of that whole judgment in the other people. So you want to have what that exchange is, because when you're getting rid of the haunting thought, you do want to embrace that new thought, okay? So here's what you do. You tune in, you repeat whatever haunting thought that is, you write down what you want to exchange it with, okay? So you already know where you're going, right? And then you get in a place where you can just sit in, like, you know, Gyan Mudra, or just sit comfortably, and you allow the thought to come, okay? You hear it, okay? You recognize it, and then behind that thought, you repeat at least 4 or 5 times, Aung Sung Wahe Guru. So here's the thought, Aung Sung Wahe Guru. Here's the thought, Aung Sung Wahe Guru. Here's the thought. I instantly, right here, it's right now that it shifted. So however many times, do it until you feel the shift. It will shift. You will have an energetic shift in that when you say it with following with Aung Sung Wahe Guru until you get that shift, right? And once you have that shift, do it again, right? It's clearing out, and then repeat your new thought, okay? So you're stepping into that new space. And I really recommend doing it with one. You can do, up to 3 at a time. One thing that's really beautiful is to write out 10. Like, these are 10 things that are just haunting me in my brain and are like kind of keeping me as the servant, to my mind. And you want your mind to serve you. You want to be the master of your mind in service to your soul, because that is what it's for, right? It is to serve our soul. Our mind is a positive thing, right? It's not a negative thing. It's just we have to learn how to have it serving us, so instead of being a servant to the mind over you, okay? So, Aung Sung Wahe Guru. So I'd love for you to try it. Let me know what you think. I'm sending you all tons of love. And I just also want to share, wherever you are in your life, see if you can be in a place of true unconditional acceptance right now. Maybe we have this time in our life where you get to the half of the year and you're like, OMG, this is not where I thought I'd be yet this year. I thought I'd be more, in a loving relationship by now, or I thought I'd be, 20 pounds thinner by now, or I thought I'd be in a place where my spiritual practice is regular now, or I thought I'd be making $20,000 a month now, or I thought I would be owning the fact that I have spiritual gifts now, or whatever it is, right? For me, I thought I would have my book almost finished by now, but I chose my 6 months to be my training. My next 6 months is all about that. So just really be in that space of acceptance of it, right? Unconditional acceptance of where you are right now, because unless you fully accept it, you're starting in a place of negative energy connected with where you're going. And you want to be in the opposite of either neutral or positive. So acceptance is very neutral and it moves into the positive state, right? So accepting where you are, loving it, blessing it, releasing whatever you feel like was in the way, and then use this practice, this haunting thought with Aung Sung Wahe Guru as you step into that new exchange thought and see where it takes you. All right? I love you all. Have an amazing day. I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. I gotta try to get rid of my tool feature.